Hello again. I'd like you to think of this use case. Customer names Jack, sees your advertising on social media, and then enters your website, interacts with a specific product, let's say an iPhone, and then leaves. And then the next day, he sees an advertising through some of the Google display, and then enters the website to add his personal information and complete the purchase for the iPhone. However, his daughter calls him and he drops the checkout process, and then he forgets about the iPhone. This represents an actual use case that most of the e-commerce struggle with, which is the abandoned cart. The great majority of the traffic that enters the website actually does not buy, does not make a purchase. Yes, only a fraction of this traffic actually makes a purchase. On average, 3% of the total traffic that enters a website actually completes the purchase. However, the traffic that enters your website is not alike. Some traffic is high intent and they're really interested to buy the product, and some others have low intent and they have no intention to complete a purchase. So it's essential to detect who are the high intent users and low intent users and focus my marketing effort on those who are having high intent. Also, on the previous example that we've discussed, this person needed to buy the product, but he got distracted. You as a brand has lost this customer. Why? Because you didn't engage with them at a later stage. So, to eliminate most of these challenges, automation needs to be introduced to the e-commerce to make sure that all your interaction with your users are easily triggered based on certain behaviors. In the previous example, once a person adds a product to the cart, you can easily trigger an email, SMS, push notification, or actually remarketing activity across the social channel and search engine. All this is automated, and all this happened to be effective without the need of navigating different scenarios. Simple automation to be introduced to the abandoned cart can recover almost 35% on average. And that is one simple use case of the automation capabilities. Now you can think broader than this. How to automate different flows for your users, and how to segment users based on intent, purchase behavior, and many other different attributes, and start to engage with these different segments in a personalized fashion. Automation for that reason becomes essential to interact with your users, engage with them in a very personalized way. So basically, you think strategically what you would like to do with each of the different segments you have and all the users and customers you have in your e-commerce, and start to implement automated flows. Some of the most important use case is the welcome flow. For example, when someone leaves their phone number or email, how would you like to interact with this specific user? How to make a cross-sell automated flow. For example, if I buy an iPhone, how I can trigger cross-sells for different products that is relevant based on my purchase. What channels to employ? Should I send an SMS and then an email, or maybe a combination between both? Or should I just appear on the social channels and search engine, displaying all these cross-sells for this specific user? All these different use cases is a fraction of what automation capabilities can introduce for you. So automation for that reason solves multiple problems for you as an e-commerce. One, it helps you, firstly, to track the users and make sure that every user gets a personalized engagement. It creates relevance. It makes you relevant with your advertising because most of your advertising is responsive to the behaviors that the user does. Third thing is, it's highly responsive and time sensitive, which means that when the user makes an action, you are proactively seeking an engagement with this specific user. Not to wait for several days until the user is either not interested or has already made a purchase from your competitor. Fourth thing is elimination of all the manual work. Nowadays, in order to have efficient engagement with your users, you need to have a lot of manual work. And usually the case, it's irrelevant, inefficient, and sometimes people lack the expertise to implement and execute best practices when they advertise. For that reason, when you think of a successful e-commerce, the chances are really high that they're having an automation partner that is supporting all their digital advertising and digital engagement. With the abundance of data that you can track about your users, you can employ this to effectively implement automation tactics to your brand that maximize your sales. In this course, I'll be helping you to navigate how to implement the best strategy when it comes to your automation efforts and diversify your channels, whether it's in social media, search engine, direct messaging, and so many others. And also learn about the different use cases of automation and when they become relevant and important for your brand. And finally, I'll show you how to run all these automation tactics through ConvertedIn with very simple clicks. So until then, have a lovely day.